Welcome back to Backward Point Podcast. My name is Nazar Sayed. With me, as always, my brother, my co-host, a man straight out of a long vacation hiatus from the podcast, Bashar Sayed. Bashar, welcome back, man. I think this is the longest break that you and I have taken since the start of the podcast.
Hello, and welcome back. Good to be back. Excited to be back, and grateful to have the opportunity to get to do this podcast.
Honestly,
I don't have to do it. I get to do it.
Honestly, the month that we were away, almost a month, it was just like we were itching to come back, and like it felt like a void, and we filled it up with life experiences. We just like tried to take some time away, even though you were like still every couple of days you'd be like, yo, you want to do a pod on this? This is happening. You want to do a pod on that? And it just felt like we needed to take a breather just to come back and appreciate setting up the lights, setting up the mic, making sure everything was good, running through the checklist 2 or 3 times, charging the laptops, finding the memory cards. Some of them were lost. And now we're back. What have you been up to for the past month and a half? Honestly, I think the last straight pod the month of May was insane, man. April, May was insane. We basically took like June and a little bit of July off. And now we're back straight into massive cricket season. But what did you do on your time off?
You know, they say distance makes the heart grow fonder.
Does it now?
And so I want to hear from you guys. Which one of us did you guys miss the most, and why was it me? Please comment down below. With respect to what I've been up to, I think we were not doing the podcast, but we were still very much involved with cricket. We were playing club cricket. It is peak summer season in Toronto right now. And so Ed Sheeran oftentimes disappears in between albums because he wants to go out there, live life, have experiences, so he can come back and write an album. And so I think we were away from the podcast, but we were not away from the sport of cricket. We were still playing. Our team is playing in 4 different leagues and getting an opportunity to just be out there on the field, under lights, swinging the new ball, and just having a blast.
Yeah, taking wickets. The irony of this entire situation is that there's a league that our team is playing in Share CC where I am the leading wicket taker over you. Thoughts on that?
I am the captain. So I think the credit goes to me for giving you the opportunity to be the leading wicket taker.
Yeah, you can never take just tarif away from you, I guess. I just last night came back from Coldplay, man. And honestly, I'm gonna say, like, if you guys are listening to us in North America, if you guys have the opportunity, I think they're doing like a few more dates in North America and then 8 straight dates in Wembley Stadium in London. Guys, do yourselves a favor. You know, we've given you so much money back through Sendwave and BP10 on Yashi. Just take that money, invest it in a Coldplay ticket. It'll change your life. I totally get now, Bashar, why Pat Cummins left the Pakistan series to go see Coldplay in Melbourne. I totally get it. No judgment. I would do the same if I was him. Just a great unifying experience. It was my wife's first Coldplay concert. You and I have been there together, 2017 in August at Rogers Center. And yesterday,
I wasn't there last night. I'm going on Friday.
You're going with your boys. I went with the wife.
I think has your wife replaced me?
I mean,
like, is she your boy now?
Can you be ever replaced? That's the point. Can she ever sit here in front of me and do this podcast? Probably not.
Time will tell.
Time will tell.
We've got, like I mentioned, an action-packed few months coming up. We have in terms of big tournaments, we have an Asia Cup that is still to be formally announced. We expect it to happen somewhere in September in Dubai. And then Pakistan will go to Sri Lanka, where they played their T20 World Cup fixtures sometime in February, March. Also fixtures to be announced.
But I've seen so many Bashar news outlets confirm the dates, 17th September, 7th September. I've seen 11th September as well. Scary date for a Pakistan-India match. But where's this news coming? Like, where's the leak happening? Should I believe any of that? Are you believing any of that? Or should we just wait till the ACC announces it?
Yeah, I'm not believing in any of the news that are out there.
The Qadir Khwajas of the world?
Yeah, I just think based on what happened in the past, September is a window where the Asia Cup is feasible to happen. And just in terms of money generating, revenue generating, it is an integral tournament for all the teams in South Asia, and specifically for the ACC, India, and Pakistan. We've all known by now that the Asia Cup is just an excuse to have as many India versus Pakistan matches to happen. So there's going to be 2 at minimum.
The same model as last time, right?
Correct, yeah. And so Star Sports, ICC, ACC, they do not want to let this opportunity go.
BCCI and PCB, like, you can't forget them. They're the ones spearheading this.
People are saying, oh, India's going to pull out because of the war. Pakistan's going to pull out because of the war. I'll tell you something. This India versus Pakistan Asia Cup will be the most hype event because of what happened in the recent past.
Yeah, which is unfortunate, actually. I think cricket should remain cricket. But, that part of the world always conflates real life stuff like conflict and war with sports and entertainment. And unfortunately, we haven't had cricket in that part of the world between those two countries in such a long time. And we keep talking about what a loss that is to the fraternity of cricket, not only just the two fan bases, but just in general. We get the Ashes every couple of years, which is honestly a delight. We're waiting for it right now in December. We get the BGT every couple of years, which is also a great delight. But, two of the, I'm not saying it would be like a close match or anything. I'm pretty sure India is a better test team, but it's just the theater of it all would really entice a lot of fans and probably get a lot newer fans to be engaged as well. But lo and behold.
Yeah, so we talked to you guys about where we've been in the past few weeks, and what's next coming up in this podcast is what the Pakistan players have been up to. Pakistan's squad for the Bangladesh tour has been announced. We'll review that squad. And just a bit of what's going on in the world of cricket with Wiaan Mulder retiring at 367 as a captain. So we're covering all of that in the podcast coming right now to you. Starting off with Pakistan, we had a pretty long hiatus from the last series we had versus Bangladesh. And
Is this the longest break this team has taken?
In a long time.
I don't remember there ever being like a window where like 6-8 weeks off almost. Babar Azam out and about in the wilderness of the Swiss Alps.
Yeah.
Shaheen in Dubai, Nawaz somewhere else as well. Shadab just chilling, breaking a shoulder randomly. No one knows how that happened, but apparently he got an injury. Yeah, it's just like one of those things where I've been following cricket like religiously for the past 4 years. Ever since we started this podcast. I don't think I've had a window where it was just chill like this. I kind of needed it, to be honest, for my own mental health. And I guess so did Babar, because he's been out and about.
Yeah, I think this was needed. Babar also, he went to Europe. He had his Zindagi Na Milegi Dobara trip with the boys.
Eat, pray, love.
Yeah.
Reverse eat, pray, love. Eat, pray, cricket.
I hope he had a blast in Europe, but the PCB in the meantime decided to organize a skills development program for the players that were in Pakistan. Some of them went to play foreign leagues. Haris Rauf was playing the MLC. Hassan Ali, Shan Masood, Abdullah Shafiq were playing the county cricket. Also Mohammed Abbas. So the players that were left behind were doing skills development, power hitting, fitness training, strength and conditioning. And so it was good to see players to take a step back and work on the basics, because oftentimes you talk about, Abdullah Shafiq has a gap between his bat and pad. How is he going to fix it? He can't fix it between a big tournament or a series. He needs time off to go back and work with the coaches in the net. So this is the perfect time for players to go out there, work on their skills development, improve on their weaknesses, and come out as a bigger player. Because as you mentioned, we've got an action-packed few months coming up.
Yeah, I think it was also very important for all these, because you got to forget, you can't forget that these players are just kids at the end of the day, like 24, 25. Like Naseem is like, 5 years younger than me, 7 years younger than me. Like these kids need time off. They need to rejuvenate. They need to get the love back for the game.
Yet you called him Naseem Bhai.
Yeah, out of respect. Again, it was one of those things, where you gotta show respect to the person in front of you. It's not the chair, but the person who's sitting in the chair that you gotta go respect to.
If you do a podcast with Vaibhav Suryavanshi, would you call him Vaibhav Bhai?
No, I call him V, because that's a tough name to pronounce for me.
He's literally half your age.
He's literally half my age. Yeah. Yeah. We were at the Coldplay concert yesterday, and they do this thing where they bring like fans up on stage. And so these two Pakistani girls came up on stage, and one was named Summer and one was named Maya. And they looked young. So Chris asked, like, how old are you? And she says, I was born in 2010. And there was an audible gasp in all the millennials who were attending the Coldplay concert. And that's how I feel about V. It's like, dang, bro. Like, you were born in the 2010s, not even 2001 to 9. It'll give me a crisis on this podcast. But
back when you were a kid, the world was supposed to end in 2012.
I remember that. I remember that movie as well. But it's just, I think it was important for these kids, these guys, to get a breather. There's just so much scrutiny and so much pressure on these guys that they need. Like, that the NBA season gets a time off. Like, where they're crazy for 8 months and 4 months to do whatever they want. I don't think the cricket schedule is set up like that. But even if this was serendipitous, it gave Salman Mirza a chance to go travel. It gave Babar a chance to go travel. Shaheen was in Dubai. Everybody's doing their thing a little bit away from the core. story, side quests, and then they come back for the main Avengers splash page movie, which we're all looking forward to in the next coming months.
Yeah, speaking of a comeback, Pakistan announced their squad for the tour of Bangladesh. And Pakistan is playing a 3-match T20I series versus Bangladesh starting July 20th. All the games happening in Mirpur, Dhaka, from the 20th to the 24th, I believe.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah. And so guess who announced the squad? It's not the selection committee. It's not the head coach. It's not the captain. It is the PCB COO, Mr. Samar Sayed, and the advisor to the chairman, Amir Mir. Now, Pakistan's selection committee consists of Aleem Dar, Aqib Javed, Asad Shafiq, Azhar Ali, and Usman Hashmi, who is a data analyst with a non-voting power. None of these guys were in the press to announce the squad. Instead, it was just these corporate guys.
The
who work in
bureaucracy.
PCB,
The bureaucracy of it all.
and they announced the squad. Like, what is up with that?
Yeah, I think I'm not being facetious right now. I genuinely think in the next few years, or maybe weeks, months, we might get the call to announce the squad, the T20 World Cup. Would you take that call?
Dude, we can announce the squad digitally online because Backward Point has been working on some really cool graphics on their socials. If you don't follow us on Instagram and Twitter, it's at Backward Point Pod. We can do a better job in managing their socials.
All we're doing is we're trying. And that limited effort is yielding more results for us than it is for the PCB, which is just pasting names on a template. Yeah, I don't understand it. I think that's such a random decision to get some bureaucratic guys that nobody knows, nobody's face they've ever seen, to jump on the presser and announce his team and take questions. Okay, like if you just didn't have anybody to announce it, you just announced the squad, that's it.
Just release it on the media.
These guys took press questions. Like the incompetency in the PCB, it just goes to brand new levels every single time. And we'll be on this pod, we'll call it out every time we see it, but it just gets more ridiculous. It turns into like an AI generated thing at some points. Like if you told me that, the next time, the OpenAI guys were announcing the Pakistan squad, I would be like, sure, I guess. It also gives me the message that they might not be as serious about this series as they should be when it is a World Cup year, when it is a year about, getting your right combination. So you're all set for the 26 World Cup. We know the disaster that happened in 24. We don't want to repeat that. It just does not give me the positive cue from the management that they got people in there who are serious about this. I would have loved to see maybe the coach come out.
I think he's back in New Zealand.
That's fine. That's fair enough. Get anybody else. Agha is touring. Get vice captain. Get Hardison. Get somebody in there who has some sort of authority, as opposed to two faceless, nameless, white collar people that we never see and never care about.
Yeah, we spoke to Ali Tareen and he mentioned the glaring issues with the PSL being one of the biggest brands of Pakistan. The Pakistan team, being Pakistan being a one sport nation, the Pakistan cricket team being probably one of the biggest revenue generators in Pakistan, and to see how this board operates is disappointing. And it makes me think sometimes, why are we as fans so hopeful and optimistic with this one sport when it's being managed so poorly by the PCB?
Yeah, I mean, that's the only thing we have, right? I mean, we set up our entire channel, our entire podcast setup about this, and it's because we're passionate about it. We follow other sports, like Wimbledon's going on right now, and the way they market that stuff, the way they promote that sport. I mean, would I have loved to have Pakistan's cricket or just cricket in general be supported and promoted like that? 100%. So we set the sport and their people to a higher standard than they deserve sometimes. But this is like basic stuff, man. This is like when you and I know from sitting here across thousands of miles that this is not the way to announce a series squad. It's a crucial series, an away series in Bangladesh. It's tough. Last time we went there, we were handed our butts to us. And it's important to know where your values and where your ideas lie, because at the end of the day, that's all you have for execution.
The following is Pakistan's squad.
Let's go.
Salman Agha.
You might do it better than they did.
Salman Agha, captain. Abrar Ahmed, Ahmed Danial, Fahim Ashraf, Fakhr Zaman, Hassan Nawaz, Hussain Talat, Khujdil Shah, Abbas Afridi, Muhammad Haris, the keeper, Muhammad Nawaz, Sahib Dada Farhan, the backup wicketkeeper, Saim Ayub, Salman Mirza, Sufyan Mukim.
Let's get into it. Let's get into it.
That's a lot of names. I'll tell you who's been dropped in the last series. Hassan Ali dropped in the last series. Currently, right now, he's playing county cricket in England. He is the third highest wicket taker right now in the Vitality Blast. Irfan Niazi dropped. I don't think he played a single game in the last series. He's been sort of sidelined ever since we saw Pujdil Shah and then Hassan Nawaz make their places in the middle order. Injured players. Shadab Khan, shoulder surgery.
That's a massive one. We'll get back to that.
He's out for a few months at least. Naseem Shah, working through a niggle at the NCA.
That's always a tricky word to say.
Very tricky. Haris Rauf, he is out with the hamstring injury. He's been ruled out of the playoffs of the MLC, where right now he is the joint highest wicket taker.
Haris Rauf, let's start with that one and let's work our way back. His MLC has gone insane. Like one of the craziest turn of events I've seen. Like this guy was the leading wicket taker with about 4 wickets more than the next best guy.
Right now he has 8 innings, 17 wickets, 15 average, economy of 9.08.
Tell me about it. Tell me about it. Tell me about it, bro. That's insane. Like I don't know what he's doing, and that's also playing in grounds like the Oakland Coliseum, which is a baseball ground, which is a 35 or 40 meter long on boundary at points, and he took 4 wickets in one of those grounds. It's insane. That was the ground that I think Finn Allen scored the fastest century in the MLC history, first game, and he's out there defending stuff. I respect that kind of hustle. My only question is, where is this when it is subcontinent conditions? And I'm a bit scared about what's going to happen in Sri Lanka next year.
I agree with you. I think I've been following the MLC because it happens at such a convenient time here.
For us, yeah.
8 p.m. EST it starts, and we tune in after dinner. We put it on in the background.
Our dad is obsessed.
My dad is invested.
Yeah, he's invested.
He's been telling me all about how the Orcas were like 4 in a row. They lost, and then they won 3 in a row with like close matches. So he is invested. Haris Rauf is kind of a big blow, and I hope he recovers in time because a lot of these injuries, and we'll get into more detail with every single player's injury, it's making us realize how thin our reserves are.
Yeah.
Like if Haris Rauf tomorrow gets injured, we don't have anybody on the benches who can ball 150.
Yeah, and Hassan will also retire, right? Sorry, too soon. Too soon for that one. I don't know what's going on there.
If Shadab Khan gets a shoulder injury, we don't have a wrist spinner who can also bat and who's a gun fielder.
Yeah.
So, I mean, these are all glaring issues that we're seeing. And I know that Mike Hassan and Salman Agha are committed to building bench strength.
This is probably why you get Sufyan Muqim in this series and you get him games. You get him as many games as possible right now because there is a chance that Shadab does not return for the main events in September and maybe even next year. Even if he comes back, we don't know if he's as good as he is because let's just jump into Shadab real quickly right now.
Just the players added in the squad.
Sure.
Ahmed Danial, Sufyan Muqim, Salman Mirza, and Mohammad Nawaz.
Yeah.
Let's go to Shadab.
Shadab, because Sufyan Muqim and Shadab, they're correlated there. Shadab has an injury on his right shoulder where I didn't even know, Bashar, you told me this. This was his bowling hand, which I didn't even know was injured. And now it is so severe and it is, to quote Sayyid Ajmal, too much paining that he has to go in and get that like surgically fixed and he's out for 3 months. 12 weeks.
What I heard is that he had pain in the shoulder, which he was managing and playing at the same time.
Bowling arm.
But he was in the UK vacationing and he went for an MRI and they told him how serious the injury is.
Do we know exactly what it is?
We don't know exactly what it is.
Okay.
I'd love to give some more authentic sources, but this is what I've heard so far. And that they advised him to get a surgery and he went for a surgery quite immediately because, again, we have tournaments coming up and Shadab is quite a key figure right now. And I think Shadab got the surgery right now in hopes that he can go through rehab and be fit in the next few months.
So September window is looking tight. You're already in July. You got the surgery about a week ago at the time of shooting this.
If we've learned anything from Shaheen Afridi's injury plus rehab, we should not rush players. And I think PCB has learned from that because we did not rush Saim Ayub back into the Pakistan team for the Champions Trophy.
Now, I want to talk about this because there's a difference between Saim Ayub, who was 21, 22 years old, and a difference between a desperate Shadab Khan trying to make a comeback stick. That is what Shaheen somehow, for some reason, was in the mindset of. I need to make a comeback that will stick. I think, I hope I'm wrong. I think Shadab will rush this. Shadab sees the Asia Cup coming. he knows that if he performs well or even decent there, he has a slot booked in for the World Cup. And that scares me because I don't want that to happen. I would rather him miss the Asia Cup and have a solid Shadab for the World Cup.
I disagree with that. And I'm going to quote Shadab on why I disagree.
All right, let's go.
Shadab mentioned in a press conference one time after a match, he said that the players who are not in the team suddenly look good. And the players who are in the Pakistan team, when they come in the Pakistan team, they look evil.
Mm.
So I think this injury might be a blessing in disguise for Shadab because the longer he's out of the team, the more we're like, holy cow, we don't have a wrist spinner who can bat, who's also a gun fielder. So I think the demand for Shadab Khan will keep growing if we don't fill his position in the team.
Do you think Sufyan Muqeem is being led for failure here?
I think Sufyan Muqeem has potential, and
of course, I love Sufyan Muqeem.
We love him. I think this series is a good opportunity to give him more exposure. These conditions will suit him, but I don't think Sufyan Muqeem who is a genuine wrist spinner, is a replacement for a leg spinning all rounder. So I think to replace Shadab, you actually need to have a couple of changes. So we've seen Mohammad Nawaz make a comeback.
Let's talk about it.
And it's been mixed reviews on what people think of Nawaz and his comeback. If you want to talk about Nawaz right now,
let's go. Yeah,
go into it. Basically, if you're looking at left arm spinners who can bat in Pakistan, there is probably less than a handful of options. There's the tried and tested Nawaz. There's the young and emerging players in Arfat Minhas and Wiaan Mulder. Now, I am a massive Arfat Minhas advocate, but he's had a pretty disappointing PSL. I think he's still quite raw, and to put him in the national squad would be risky. It wouldn't be the worst idea, but it's risky. There's a Pakistan team right now with a new captain and a new coach. Do they want to take the risk with a young, upcoming left arm spinner, Arfat Minhas, or do they want to go with the tried and tested, experienced Nawaz? There's also Wiaan Mulder, but he's not as good of a batsman as Nawaz or Arfat Minhas.
I think this would have been a solid opportunity for Arfat Minhas because of exactly what you said. You have a new management, you have a new coach, they have nothing to lose, right? We're here till 2027.
Except for the jobs.
No, we're here till 2027 regardless. Let's try this kid out. Let's give him a run and see what happens. Now, this move of getting Nawaz back into the squad is telling me that they are eyeing the World Cup very seriously. This attitude toward the series might be, shoulder shrug, but they're looking at their long-term benefits with Nawaz, and they're looking at his experience, like you said. They probably saw our video with him and were like, yo, this guy can score more runs than he can concede, because suddenly he's a top priority for Mr. Hassan. But jokes apart, I think they're looking at what he has done before and what he has provided before. He has played against India. He's played a final. He's played, he's lost against Zimbabwe. That's tough. But you just come out stronger in cricket. Hopefully, that's the attitude you have. And do I love this decision? Not entirely. But at the same time, I'm open to what results this decision yields. And if it doesn't yield any positive results, I'm okay if the accent comes down as well.
Yeah, I'm not totally against having Nawaz in the team. Like you've mentioned, he's experienced. But I wouldn't also have minded if they got Arfat Minhas, because that would have been sort of like a future-looking developmental squad mentality. And Nawaz seems like a more secure option.
But I also see why they did that, because of it being a World Cup year. We have the World Cup less than 8 months from now, right? I think that the option of experimentation will probably start again after the 26th World Cup.
Well, there's a big tournament every 12 months. So are you just going to keep delaying development of players every single time?
The 26th World Cup and then the 27 ODI World Cup, which is 50 overs, and then a 28 T20 World Cup. Right?
The LA Olympics is also
in 28, yep. So that's like a big year. 28 is a big year. So they might start rebuilding as one does after a big event goes away. And then you have to remodel your choices. I think Arfat Minhas is in the plans, but not right now.
I think what's always in our plans is Yashi Sports, because Yashi Sports is Canada's home of cricket.
Oh man,
I know you missed this.
I missed Yashi Sports. Yashi, I missed you guys. It was a long time. We've been away, but Yashi has always been with us.
And the code BP10 for 10% off your next purchase also remains the same thing. You can go to yashisports.com, explore their large variety of equipment that they have to provide. And like I mentioned, they are the go-to spot to buy equipment in North America. And they also have free shipping on orders of $350 and up.
Yep. Shout out Yashi Sports. Thank you for keeping the lights on even when we were away. They rock.
Talking about more players and replacements, we've seen an addition of Salman Mirza in the Pakistan squad. Salman Mirza, who had like 4 good games in the PSL towards the back end in terms of the eliminator and the finals. And it seems like Pakistan is struggling to find a like-for-like replacement of Shaheen Afridi. Briefly, we tried Akif Javed in New Zealand, and Akif, I think we've seen, has potential, but it's extremely raw. He needs a lot of work on his run-up, on his jump, on his landing. And now Pakistan has sidelined Akif Javed, and we're going in with Salman Mirza. Again, showing that we don't really have anybody with the same quality of Shaheen Afridi.
I was shocked that Shaheen was not in the squad. That was a glaring missed opportunity for me. I mean, he had a great PSL, right? I mean, obviously during the PSL, you announced a squad for the Bangladesh T20s, which makes sense. You've already done it. That's fine. Him not being in this squad, shocking. Because he does give you a little late 8, 9, 7, whatever you want to put him. He gives you that little punch. If it connects, he can give you like a 6-ball 14, 6-ball 20 even. And he's Shaheen Afridi, man. He had a crazy PSL in similar conditions in low flat pitches where the ball wasn't doing anything, and he came out the wiser. I don't know what is going on with this decision. Is it a statement decision where we're letting the trio go now? It's over. Is it one of those things? Because we should talk about the trio as well. Or is it like an actual tactical decision to get Salman Mirza in over Shaheen Afridi? I don't know. Is it just to develop bench strength? They're already taking the series as a trial series. These are questions that I wanted answered, not from the bureaucrats that came from the presser. You know what I mean? Like I'm sitting here as a Pakistan cricket fan who hosts a podcast with more questions and answers to give people who are listening and viewing to this. That is a problem, the communication issue in the PCB as it has been for years, now decades, remains the same, even though management has shuffled a little bit. But I need clarity on what Shaheen Afridi is not here. I did hear that snippet of the guy who said, hey, Shaheen, Babar, Rizwan, this is the T20 squad. When the ODI squad comes, we'll talk about that then, which is giving me a signal that Shaheen is not part of the T20 setup at all, which is kind of a red flag for me. What about you?
I think I still want to give some benefit of doubt to Mike and Salman, #SalMike era. I think this squad to Bangladesh is a bit of a developmental, experimental squad. And I think once the team for West Indies is announced, we might see more of a full strength side coming in, because West Indies will be competitive. It's going to be Pakistan's real first big challenge. And I hope to see Shaheen back, because again, we can give Shaheen all the criticism that we can, but we don't really have a left arm pacer who can ball with the same control quality as Shaheen. It goes back to the whole Shadab point where if Shaheen is playing, he's conceding runs, and we're like, what is Shaheen doing? He's not evolving. He's not developing. But I did see signs of Shaheen improving in the PSL. He's developed an outswinger to a righty. So there is signs of evolution, development from Shaheen. And I think once the squad for the next tour gets announced, the US and Caribbean, we should see Shaheen back in the squad.
I was just saying, I think the upgradation of Shaheen Afridi that we saw in the PSL, no, it's good. It's rolling. Don't worry about it. I'm checking the cameras. I got this.
It's blinking.
Yeah, let it blink. It's good. It's still great. Sorry, I was just saying the Shaheen Afridi of it all. You're right. We did see the upgradation of him, and him actually developing that outswinger to the right-hander. The Yorkers were in place. The pace was a little bit higher than it used to be. Just the mindset was a lot more attacking, but without being reckless. And I would love to see that translated into maybe a bilateral, and then some like, I would be shocked if Shaheen does not play the Asia Cup. Genuinely shocked. You know, yeah, we needed replacements and all that. I don't think we found a like-for-like Shaheen Afridi replacement. You know, I remember when Amir got banned, we had Junaid Khan, we had Wahab Riaz. They weren't like-for-like as well. Rahat Ali. But we had something in stock that was similar in fashion. I've seen nothing that suggests that Shaheen Afridi is replaceable currently. I would love to see him back in the squad at the number 8 spot. I think that's the spot for him. He gives you
number 9, because Fahim Ashraf is part of our plan.
Sure, 8, 9, whatever it looks like. I need him in. I think this Bangladesh series might be a trial series, which is fine for me. Because if Salman Mirza gets some wickets, some numbers in, that's a good bench strength situation. But I think West Indies, you have to call Shaheen back. There's no way that he doesn't go to West Indies.
Fun fact, Pakistan has announced 7 left-handers in this squad. So I think there's definitely something going on with Pakistan trying to have a lefty-righty combination at the crease at every moment.
You and I know when we play the American Premier League, that is a pain in the butt for us. And then that level, I'm not saying that obviously when you get senior level situations, things change a little bit, but it's so annoying to keep changing the fields and it throws the ball off as well. So that tactic might actually yield some results in the end.
And statistically, it's also easier for a left-hander to play a leg spinner because the ball turns in is a lot easier. And then if we're looking at conditions in the West Indies, there's the breeze going on, there's a small side, so that's when you need a left-righty on the crease every single time. So if there is a breeze going one way, or if there's a small boundary, the lefty can come in and really capitalize on that.
That's why whenever I bowl to a lefty, I'm giving my off spinners. You know the ones? The top spinners, the off spinners? That's what I'm doing. And then the occasional shooter.
It's kind of like that. Have you seen that guy from Sri Lanka who balls left arm off spin to a righty?
Yeah.
And then he can also ball right arm off spin to a lefty. He's ambidextrous.
There's one game that we played this weekend where the guy was bowling. He opened the bowling. He got hit 14 or maybe 20. And then he just started bowling spin the next over. I was like, who the hell is this guy?
And he got him out.
He got him out. But I mean, it worked. But yeah, good tactics there.
Also, speaking about like not having a genuine replacement for Shadab Khan, I think the only viable option that we have in terms of a right arm leg spinner who can kind of bat is Osama Mir.
Yeah.
But I remember there's a situation where in the 2023 ODI World Cup, when Shadab would play, Osama Mir would look good. Osama Mir would play, Shadab would look good. And both of them were just like mediocre.
Yeah. It was tough.
And so
that was a tough World Cup.
Yeah. We need to call back Yasha.
Yo, remember when we ran into him at the hotel?
Yeah.
I don't think he was match fit at all. No offense to
He was definitely not matched. We barely fit in the elevator with him.
Yes, that's true. So, yeah, I don't think Yasha tries to call, even though I know you're doing a humorous take here, but I think we got the squad covered. I would love to see how this plays out. 20th June is the first game. You're right. It goes up to the 26th. Let me just double check this.
We'll be back for a series preview.
Series preview, yeah.
And we'll do every game analysis.
20th July is the first game. 8 a.m. for us. Sure, that's going to be a tough one on a Sunday morning.
Maybe for you.
Maybe for me. No, my son wakes up at 7:30, so I'm good. Yeah, so 20th, 22nd, and 24th. That's a 3-match series, and then they fly off to West Indies after that. We unfortunately planned on going to Florida, but things did not pan out the way they were supposed to, so we are no longer going to Florida to cover the T20 series. But if you guys are listening and you are a sponsor and you want to sponsor this trip that has not happened and you want to revitalize it, you know where to find us. Queries at backwardpointpodcast at gmail.com. Anyways, what was I going to talk? Let's talk about a little bit about the world of cricket, because things have been happening. England has been hosting India, which has been crazy. The first test match went England's way. The second test match has gone India's way. And I feel like Shubman Gill he has found a way to score runs stick cricket way, where he's just scoring a century every time he goes into bat.
No offense to Shubman Gill or the Indian team. I know they were like scoring a lot of runs this series, but you have to also remember that a very important recipe for basketball to work is flat pitches. When the England team came into Pakistan, in Multan, we gave them a flat pitch and they scored 800 at a quick rate. So I'm pretty sure Ben Stokes, Brendan McCullum, they worked with the creators in the UK and made sure every pitch they're playing on is a road. Maybe some movement up front in the first day, but aside from that, they love chasing. So they want a flat pitch that stays consistent all the 5 days. And that's why you're seeing Shubman Gill score tons of runs, like every batsman coming in scoring 50s or 100s. And no offense again to Shubman or the team, but I think comparing his performances to what Virat did or what Sachin did is just not fair. It's just a different era, different conditions. But he has worked a lot on his technique. I think he's one of the most technically sound batsmen going on right now. He's worked on the area where he was struggling for the ball, coming in and nipping back, getting bowled so many times. And yeah, he's out there proving a point. I thought he was going to struggle in this series. He walked in with like an average of 13 in the UK, total test average of 35. I think right now that's jumped to like 42 in his test career, 800s, and he is up there on the list of the most international hundreds by an Indian batsman.
What do you think about his captaincy so far? 2 test matches in.
It's been decent. I think his captaincy is in combination with Gautam Gambhir. So Gigi and him are working together and making the calls. I did think his declaration on the second test match was a little too late. Like 600 runs. That's a lot of runs for England to even like think about and chasing.
That's telling me that they were not confident in a 450 target.
Correct.
They
Correct.
needed that extra 100 runs to cushion themselves. Otherwise, maybe they would have actually gone in. Because the first innings, they did the same thing, right? They were like, nobody chases this many runs. And boom, chased.
And the D word is the
The
kryptonite for basketball. They don't want to play for a draw.
Yeah.
They want to go
100%.
for the win every time.
Yeah, I mean, this has been a fascinating series. I've been following it. I've seen pictures for the Lord's Test pitch. I cannot differentiate where the pitch starts and the ground ends. So,
And we're hearing that Jofra Archer might come in.
Jofra's coming back. Pierce Morgan has already tweeted at the Bharat Army page. So, it's going to be fun. It's going to be spicy, as always. Have you heard of the name Wiaan Mulder?
I have.
Tell me about it.
Wiaan Mulder, all-rounder from South Africa, the current stepping in test captain.
Is he the lad who ditched the PSL for the IPL?
I don't think we picked him.
Who was the guy who ditched the
That
PSL?
was Coben Bosch.
My guy. Oh, yeah.
Zalmani picked him, and then Mumbai Indians picked
South
him.
African as well, right?
Correct. And then Wiaan Mulder was picked by Sunrisers Hyderabad, I think in the replacement draft.
Okay. So this lad comes in. He's the captain of South Africa.
Because Bavuma is injured.
Of course.
He was lifting such a heavy test mace that he's injured now.
And they also play like a really BC side, C-strong side against Zimbabwe. Zimbabwe, by the way, who has the most test matches this season of any other team, comes out, scores 367 runs off 334 deliveries. Dang, bro. 410 minutes on the pitch. 110 strike rate for his 367, Bashar. The team scored 626 runs at a run rate of 5.5. 114 overs. Declared at 626, won by an innings and 226 runs, or 236 actually, I should say. A lot has been made out of that 367 and that declaration. He came out and said, "I would not want to take the mace, the most runs ever scored, but from Brian Lara in test matches. He added 400, not out." What are your thoughts on that? This has been a hot topic right now across the cricketing world.
It's controversial. I'm not sure if I would declare if I was in his position. But he mentioned the first reason for declaration is that he thought they had enough runs. And secondly, he mentioned that he wanted to declare out of respect for Brian Lara's record. Like when you think of Brian Lara, you think of his 400, his 375, his 500 in first class. And he thinks that he wants to keep Brian Lara's legacy with that highest score record.
What is your thoughts on that?
I'm not sure about that, man. Like, obviously, if he did make the 400, there would have been a caveat. Oh, it was against Zimbabwe.
Would there be a caveat? Like, I don't think there would have been. If 400 is a 400.
I think it would have been.
Zimbabwe is a test playing nation. They've been playing tests for 30 years or more. Like, what do you mean?
Like, Brian Lara did it against England in West Indies. That's a bit of...
That's like saying Sachin's 100th century does not count because it was against Bangladesh. Which is true, by the way. It is against Bangladesh.
I mean, I'm not saying that.
So fair? Like, so what?
I think...
I don't think the opposition matters. Here's my take on it, right? This was discussed heavily on the Patreon chat. Guys, if you guys want to be a part of the Patreon chat, join the Patreon. It was heavily discussed. If people are like, Wiaan Mulder, I don't think he deserves that 400. I mean, he was at 367. He deserves it. If he makes it, it's his. Like it's a skill-based game. It's not luck-based. So if he goes out there and actually does score 400, then that's his prerogative. My take was, it would be weird if... Look, Will Chamberlain scored 100 points in basketball, right? He's the only player to ever do that. It would be weird if Pascal Siakam from the Indiana, what other team?
Pacers?
Pacers, yes. Indiana Pacers comes out and scores 100 points and breaks Wilt's record. That would be weird. But it would not be weird if like Kobe did it, or Jordan does it, or Shaq does it, or one of the big names. Like if Steph does it, that would not be weird because they have a legacy behind them. And 400 runs is a legacy. I don't know if Wiaan Mulder comes out and becomes the best South African player ever to do it, like Graeme Smith level, Hashim Amla level, and has that record of 400, totally understandable. But it's also, here's a similar take. Do you remember in, what World Cup was it? Maybe 2007? It was Pakistan versus, was it Ireland or Zimbabwe, where Imran Nazir was close to beating the ODI record. I don't know how much.
He scored 160.
But there was the talks of him, like when he was at the 150s, 160s, that, hey, there might be a chance where he comes out and breaks 196 or 194.
194, yeah.
That would have been weird.
Why?
Imran Nazir.
It's at a World Cup.
Imran Nazir breaking Saeed Anwar's record is weird. Now, Fakhar Zaman did it. And that was not weird. Because Fakhar Zaman has an ICC Champions Trophy behind him. And he was the guy who, do you understand the legacy aspect of it all? Do you understand what 400 runs means? Do you understand what 200 runs means?
So you're saying it's subjective to the player getting there?
I just think if he had done it, that's all, like, kudos to him. I would have celebrated it as well. I would have been like, dang, man, I still wish that Lara would have had that, but fair enough. I just think Wiaan Mulder, when everything is said and done, I don't think his legacy will live up to, it will shine a candle to what Lara has done. And that's my problem.
This is kind of similar to when Corey Anderson broke
Shaheen Afridi's record. 100%.
What happened to Corey Anderson?
Exactly.
He's playing for the USA right now.
And then it got righted. That whole situation got righted itself when AB de Villiers came out and broke Corey Anderson's record, because AB is the legend of the game. And then, like, okay, fine, there's balance to the universe again. But when Corey Anderson broke Shaheen Afridi's record, I was like, what? Yeah, so that's my take on that. I just think people are kind of getting a little bit too worked up about it. He has 531 runs in this series with 7 wickets. I mean, I don't know what
Jack Callis who?
I don't know what exactly. I don't know what to tell you. Anything else you want to touch upon before we call it?
No,
tonight?
I'm good. I'm glad to be back podcasting, and we're going to be back doing a series preview. We'll do a match by match analysis,
of course,
and then we have the tour to Bangladesh, the West Indies coming up.
Maybe one of those games we can go live.
Maybe,
right?
Yeah. Let us know if you guys want us to go live, and yeah, we're happy to get there. We're nearing in episode number 200, and we're thinking of doing a 200 episode Q&A. We haven't done a Q&A in like a few months.
No.
So we'd love to do like a
now,
Q&A coming
the
up.
question goes out to you guys. Do you guys want an AMA, like ask us anything situation, or do you want to keep it towards cricket and just ask questions about the cricketing world, etc.? That's up to debate, because we can still tweak.
AMA is more like people keep asking me about my relationship status, and that's like too personal.
Okay.
Single.
That's all he's gonna say. You know what would be fun? An backward point advice podcast.
Sure. Advice on cricket or life advice?
You're up to you guys. Whatever you guys want to ask.
I'll do a poll on Instagram. And
let's see what the vibes are, right?
We'll see.
Yeah, we'll see. You guys can follow us on Instagram and TikTok. All the social media places. Man, I was rusty today. Like, there's some podcasting muscles that you have to keep using, and if you don't use them, you just kind of, because I forgot how to, like, I don't even know how I'm gonna edit this.
You use it or you lose it.
Yeah, exactly. Like I forgot what the rhythms were. Okay, you got to take the audio card first, and the video. Like, it's gonna be interesting how this comes out. Maybe it won't. Maybe it'll never come out. We never know. Anyways, thank you guys for tuning in. Thank you to Yashi Sports. Thank you to all our sponsors. Check out the descriptions below for the Patreon and all that other stuff. Thank you guys for tuning in with us, and we will check you guys out in the next episode very, very soon. Thank you.
Cheers.